10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is, here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron.
Welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast. I'm Terry Cameron. Before we get started, guys, I want to remind you, I now have a YouTube channel I'd like you to check out. Just search for Terry Cameron in YouTube and check out some of my videos. They pretty much coincide with a lot of the podcasts that we're putting out. Also, hop on over to Apple iTunes, give me that review, write me a review and give me a rating. I sure do appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about how to sell 20 cars every single month. And if you're already doing that, congratulations. Let's shoot for 30 now. But to sell 20, I guess I'd start by telling you how not to sell 20 cars a month. At the end of each day, my salespeople turn into me what's called a daily activity sheet. And on this daily activity sheet, it tells me everything that they've done as far as productivity for the day. It also lists out a few things for them to do throughout the day, giving them a little bit of guidance, especially for those salespeople that just come to work to wait. And on that daily activity sheet, it tells them to make sure they follow up with everybody from the previous day, check on their sold customers' license plates, post something positive on Facebook, invite customers to like our page, things like that. Also, at the very bottom, after they tell me how many opportunities, how many different activities they did throughout the day as far as presentations and demonstrations and solds, there's a space for them to put what they did today, what type of professional development they did today. In other words, what did they listen to, what did they watch, what did they read that was positive, had something to do with their career. And then after that, it says there's a place for them to list what they have working for tomorrow. And it's funny to see what some of them say. I have a couple people that really just don't take it serious, and everybody can tell based on their numbers that they don't take this serious. And then we have a few others that really take it serious, but they're still not prepared for tomorrow. They're going to come tomorrow on the hope plan. As a matter of fact, some of my salespeople post what they have working tomorrow is to talk to more ups. Wow, what a plan. So again, let me tell you how not to sell 20 cars. And that's to wait for ups. If that's what you do, you'll never do it. Now, anybody can sell 20 cars one month. Get lucky and sell 20 cars one month, but you can't sell 20 plus cars consistently by waiting on ups. Now, if that's what you want to do, here's how you do it. The average salesperson has about a 25% closing ratio, and sometimes it's a little less than that. But if that's you, if you have a 25% closing ratio, then that means you're going to have to talk to 80 fresh ups a month. Not realistic. And if you're at a dealership where you are able to talk to 80 fresh ups a month, you have enough customers, you have the right amount of salespeople, well, good luck on making this a career, because that's where burnout comes from. I think it was Grant Cardone that I heard one day say, you can't be burnt out if you've never been on fire. And I see this all the time. People tell me they're burnt out from talking to, burnt out in the car business, but what they've done is spun their wheels so much just talking to fresh ups that they're not getting anywhere. So if you want to talk to 80 ups a month, good luck. But let's figure out how we're going to do that. Let me see. If you work 20 days a month, I guess that's about average. If you work 5 days each week, that means you're going to have to talk to 20 plus ups each week. That's 4 or 5 a day. Even if you have the ability, if you have the customers to where you can talk to 4 or 5 ups each day, you're not going to be able to sell very many cars. Remember, they're the lowest closing customers. You can't spend all day talking to 4 or 5 ups. That means you're just burning through them, and you're not going to run into very many of them that are going to say, hey, please, I'm not going to let you talk me out of buying a car today. Please sell me a car. If you find customers like that on a regular basis, let me know. I'm moving to your location. Here's another way to sell 20 cars. How about appointments? I haven't worked at very many dealerships, but I've worked at a few. And almost all of them require each salesperson to have two appointments scheduled per day. And there's usually a manager or a BDC person following up and confirming those appointments for them. Not necessarily to check and make sure they're real, but just to help increase their chances of showing. Now I know 2 a day sounds hard, and I agree. That is, if you're not used to doing that. It's a tough thing to do. But just like anything else, if it's worth doing, it's worth practicing and getting there. Dave Anderson says, if it's worth it to you, you'll make time. If it's not worth it to you, you'll make excuses. 2 a day. 2 a day, and if you work 5 days a week, that's 10 scheduled appointments per week. And if they're good quality appointments, not bullshit appointments, about 6 or 7 of them will show. And as long as you're doing your job, you're going to deliver 50 to 60% of them. So let's figure out how many that is each week. 10 appointments, 6 shows, 50% closing ratio or higher. Well, let's just stick with the easy numbers. That's 3 sales per week. Now, you're probably not going to be able to live on just 2 scheduled appointments. You might have to take an up or 2 this week. But let's say you talk to 10 ups in a week. That's 2 a day. With a 20% closing ratio on fresh ups, that means you're going to sell 2. You add that to the 3 that you scheduled for appointments that you closed, and now you're talking 5 a week. And in my book, that's 20 per month, and that's also a 6-figure income. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Well, it really is. But that's what professionals do. I say it all the time. If you want professional wages, you have to do professional things. Who else can we talk to get that closing percentage up and put us over that 20 each month on our way to 25 and 30? I don't know. How about hanging out in the service department? I know that's where I'd be if I was on the floor. 78% of the people that do business in your service department with your dealership will consider purchasing a car from you. So let's say you spend your entire week down there, or a couple hours per day, 5 days a week, you're going to bump into a potential customer or 2. And if you do that, now I believe this is much higher, but let's just say you only sold 1 car this week from the service department. But you sold 2 ups, and you also sold 3 appointments. Well, in my book, that's 6 per week, 24 per month. And again, you're busting 6 figures. I see it all the time. I can hear the laughter, the horseplay going on in the showroom and the break area. If only my salespeople and your salespeople could put that effort into scheduling appointments, following up, asking for referrals, talking to customers in the service department. You know how easy our jobs would be? I would love nothing better than to be leading all 6-figure salespeople. It's not that hard to do. It's just a mindset. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. But again, if you want professional wages, do professional things. Don't come to work to wait. Come to work to work. It's a piece of cake. Practice it. Hey, and if you really want to think about it, what if you could schedule 4 appointments per day? 4 appointments. That's 20 a week. 12 to 13 of them are going to show, and 5 or 6 are going to be delivered. That's when you say, the hell with ups. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm making my living based on appointments. I'm scheduling my deliveries, and I'm going to be in control of my day. I worked at a dealership in the past where the actual dealer would sit in his truck at 8 o'clock at night when we closed and watched people leave the dealership. Salespeople and managers alike did not want to walk past him because they thought, and they probably were right, they were going to get their balls busted. But all he really was doing was asking them what they did for the day. And if they didn't have a successful day, he just wanted to know what they did to ensure tomorrow is going to be successful. In other words, how many people do you have scheduled to come back in tomorrow to give you, your manager, and the dealership an opportunity to sell? Guys, everybody wants to be successful, but not everybody wants to do what it takes. You just have to get it in your mind. And you have to start it each morning with having a good attitude and coming to work. So remember, ups are not the way to the promised land. Get some appointments. Get some service customers. Ask for referrals and follow up. I'll see you at the top of the ladder. Remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Please rate it on iTunes and visit the 10minutesalestalk.com website to send an email. We appreciate your valuable feedback, and don't forget to share the show with a friend.